The calculators will be out for the next few minutes, I'm sure. It's our final truck race of the day. Next up then, the British Truck Racing Championship. This grid based on the results of race 3 earlier on this morning. A very lively race it was. Top 8 reversed again. John Powell will be on pole in the DAF LF alongside number 14, John Bowler. Second row, 86, Tom O'Rourke, not in the MAN TGS. He's in the International Navistar alongside 33, Neil Yates. Michael Oliver and Stephen Powell on row 3. And they will start ahead of David Smith, who will start 4th on the grid, on the 4th row of the grid after his 2nd place earlier on. Ryan Smith alongside him, looking for his 2nd win of the weekend. Row 5, David Jenkins, number 69. Now, he finished 8th in the race earlier on. He got a 1-place penalty for some contact. Starts alongside Simon Cole, completing the 5th row. Archie Handy and Stuart Oliver, who failed to finish the race this morning, will complete the 12-truck grid. Hope the rain stays away for what will be a 15-minute race. Stephen Powell with a 1-place penalty on this grid as well after incidents earlier on. Been a lot of penalties today, unfortunately. The trucks will be heading out of the assembly area up towards the grid. So Ryan Smith, only 1 win so far this weekend. He goes to 8th on the grid this time. He had 2 wins at Brands Hatch, 2 at Pembrey, 3 at Donington, all 5 at Thruxton. So it's been possibly his least successful weekend of the year so far. John Powell on pole is the Division 2 man. 3 wins at Pembrey, 3 at Thruxton, 1 at Donington. He's had a few non-starts as well this year with a few problems. No points for Paul Rivette this weekend, the former saloon car man. He missed the Pembrey round as well. The only Division 2 driver to have taken an overall win this year. Archie Handy has had his best Division 2 weekend with a string of 3rd places. Simon Cole still yet to pick up a win this year. It's 2nds, 3rds and 4ths all the way for him. Leads the points on consistency. John Bowler, I think he's there. He's hidden behind the marshal's post there in the assembly area, looking for his 2nd Division 1 win of his career. Well, we've already crowned 1 champion here this weekend. The British Endurance Championship yesterday, won by Peter Ercheg, Marcus Clutton in their Audi R8 GT3. And provisionally, Steve McDermott has won the MG Owners Club Championship. They have 1 race to come, of course. It's the Cadwell race. And only drivers who were in that original race at Cadwell can take part here. It'll be a 12-car grid. Our title contenders are out in that one. But meanwhile, the big rigs are on the move. Powell and Bowler lead them out. Tom O'Rourke's had a slightly problematic weekend with the International Navistar. Neil Yates had a decent weekend. There's Michael Oliver, Stephen Powell, David Smith, Ryan Smith. Can he come through for a win from 8th on the grid? Quieter weekend for David Jenkins. It's Simon Cole, Archie Handy and Stuart Oliver at the back, so we've got the full complement of 12. So we lost Paul Rivette for the weekend in race 1 with engine failure. And sadly we don't have Adam Bintz, the Division 2 entertainer, with his Volvo. Definitely clouding over. You can see it's darkened here at Snetterton as the pack makes its way into the Bentley Straights. Reverse grid format has certainly spiced things up this weekend. We've got Stuart Oliver at the back this time after his retirement earlier on as well. Race number 5 then this weekend, the final act for the British Truck Racing Championship before they head across the water in 2 weeks' time to Le Mans. Now they'll race alongside the FIA European Truck Racing Championship. And the finale in November at Brands Hatch. Just keeping it steady there, John Powell in pole position, the Division 2 man. His 2 rivals in the pink and white trucks towards the back of the grid. The man we're watching for, number 1, flying Ryan Smith. David Jenkins, his arch rival behind him. Stuart Oliver's at the back as well. Watch for those 3 coming through. This first couple of corners is certainly not going to be for the faint of heart. I reckon Tom O'Rourke could be one to watch here. If he's got the International Navistar running properly, he could spring a surprise. Just keeping it steady at the moment behind the pace truck. The GT Tyres MAN now heads into pit lane. I'm looking forward to this one. The last truck race of the weekend is always very lively. Here we go then, the revs start to rise. And the race gets underway down towards the first corner at Riches they go. Simon Cole perhaps sensibly keeping out of the way. John Bowler makes a super start, so does Tom O'Rourke. It's Bowler who leads into the first corner. John Powell drops back to 4th. I think that's Neil Yates coming up on the outside into 3rd position. They head towards the hairpin for the first time. Michael Oliver runs out wide onto the grass like he's been doing all weekend. Ryan Smith in behind him, and charging up the outside is Stuart Oliver in the number 7 MAN, past David Smith, who didn't get the best of starts there. They've all made it round the first couple of corners okay. John Bowler, the number 14 MAN, leads the way from Tom O'Rourke. Stephen Powell passes his teammate Neil Yates for 3rd place. 5th is Michael Oliver. Ryan Smith's made up a couple of places. The less powerful Division 2 truck of John Powell drops back to 7th. David Smith wide onto the grass, so is Archie Handy at the back. Into Agostini, Bowler from O'Rourke. Ryan Smith attacking Michael Oliver. He's in 6th position at the moment. Behind him, David Jenkins. Stuart Oliver up to 8th, so John Powell has dropped down the order. The Division 2 truck's a little bit less powerful, of course, so Division 1's power past them. Michael Oliver side by side with Neil Yates. Yates under fire from Ryan Smith, who now cuts to the inside as they come towards the right-hander at Oggies. Can't get through there. It's allowing the first 3 to get away slightly. Ryan Smith to the inside as Neil Yates gets a little bit crossed up. And through goes Ryan, makes up another place into P5. Neil Yates is sliding all over the place here in the number 33. Out onto the grass again. Michael Oliver stays ahead there in the number 12. But out front it is John Bowler, the number 14. Tom O'Rourke in 2nd. And Stephen Powell is up into 3rd position. It's Oliver, Ryan Smith. Stuart Oliver in behind David Jenkins. Further back, Neil Yates losing a couple of places there. Made a bit of a mistake through Williams' corner. Start to settle down. David Smith's back with the Division 2 trucks a bit further back. John Powell continues to lead Division 2. He's going for a clean sweep of 5 wins this weekend. Neil Yates has gone wide again. He seems to be having some handling issues with the 33 MAN. He's got David Jenkins behind him. It's John Bowler who leads from the outside of the front row. Tom O'Rourke, the Scotsman, giving chase. Hopefully we'll see fellow Scot Jock Borthwick back out next season. Of course, suffered some injuries last year in a motorcycle accident and that curtailed his season. Here comes Ryan Smith up the inside, attacking Michael Oliver. This is for 4th place. Into Riches, not close enough this time. You know, Michael Oliver's a bit of a wild man sometimes in that MAN, the number 12. Stephen Powell staying ahead of them in the number 3. Kicking up the dust there out of Riches. Ryan Smith goes for the inside into the hairpin. He's not quite close enough. There's another bit of bodywork coming off the number 12 of Michael Oliver. Now to the inside. Ryan Smith's going to dive for the inside into Palmer. Again, he's not close enough. Such a fiery character is Ryan. Shows in his driving. Now he'll go for the inside again at Agostini. He's got the line. Is he late on the brakes? Yes, he goes through. Michael Oliver gives him racing room. And up to 4th goes the 8th-time British champion. This is allowing John Bowler to pull away, looking for his 2nd ever Division 1 win. He's had a fair few race wins in his Division 2 days, never won the title though. Be careful that bodywork doesn't flap too badly. He doesn't want to get the black and orange flag here, Michael Oliver, and have to pull into the pits to remove that corner of his bumper. Just have to hope it falls off. Hope it doesn't get caught in his wheel or puncture the tyre as well. He doesn't even notice it at the moment, of course, as Ryan Smith now attacking Stephen Powell, who in turn is attacking Tom O'Rourke. The MV Commercials International Navistar holds that 2nd place. He's the cork in the bottle, though, you can see, because John Bowler's opened up quite a lead here. He was over 2 seconds clear at the end of the 1st lap. Stephen Powell, winner of race 4 after Ryan Smith got that track limits penalty right at the end. 86 of Tom O'Rourke. This is a good measured drive to hold that 2nd place. Playing into John Bowler's hands because he's able to extend his lead. Here comes Stephen Powell. He's going to have a go for 2nd, I think, now. He's got to be mindful that Ryan Smith's right behind him, as is Michael Oliver. 4 of them fighting away for 2nd place. Something flew off. Was that bit of bodywork coming off Michael Oliver's truck possibly there as they came down the straight? Check as they come into the hairpin. Still O'Rourke in 2nd. Powell closing up. Ryan Smith really closing up on Powell. And yes, I think that... Oh, and O'Rourke's run wide. He clashes with Stephen Powell. I bet Ryan Smith's going to go past both of them. Powell tries to recover it, but Ryan Smith goes through. Just like Matt Simpson, isn't he, in the pickups? He always finds the gap to slip through, Ryan Smith. And I think Tom O'Rourke, I think Tom O'Rourke is wounded after that collision with Stephen Powell. I can see smoke there. Yes, he spins around. I hope he's not dropping fluid there. The last thing we want is fluid all over Agostini. The 86 truck spins to a hole. What a shame for Tom O'Rourke. It was up there in 2nd. He ran wide on the hairpin, tried to cut back in, but he hit Stephen Powell. And if he can't get it going again from there, the race is going to have to be stopped. We had a red flag in the 1st race yesterday when Ryan Smith's engine blew and he went off. And Tom trying to get the smoky 86 truck out of the way. Such a disappointment for Tom O'Rourke. He has had no luck at all this season, Scotsman. Parks it up, out of the race. Meantime, here's the battle for 2nd place. Ryan Smith, Stephen Powell, and Michael Oliver has shed, I think, that piece of bodywork at last. I thought I saw that come off as they came down the centre straight. David Jenkins now behind him, then Stuart Oliver. What's happened to Neil Yates? He seems to have dropped away as well. That bit of bodywork is still there. Some of it's come off. It's still flapping away. Fastest lap of the race is with David Jenkins, the number 69. He's done a 2:26.336. Coming up to half distance, 7.5 minutes to go. Over the line they go. It is John Bowler who leads. New fastest lap for Ryan Smith. Tom O'Rourke out of his truck. His day is over. Ryan Smith does a 2:25.103. He's going after John Bowler now. Stephen Powell third, then Michael Oliver, David Jenkins, Stuart Oliver. Neil Yates is further back in 7th. He's dropped about 6.5 seconds behind Stuart Oliver. David Smith is 8th. Then we've got Division 2 headed up by John Powell, ahead of Simon Cole. Here's the battle for 3rd place. Michael Oliver having a go at Stephen Powell. Is he going to get round the outside at Palmer? I don't think he is. No, Stephen Powell later on the brakes. Has he outbraked himself, though? He's now on the outside, coming down towards Agostini. Michael Oliver goes for the inside. Powell moves across him. Oliver back to the outside. Now, I hope that O'Rourke hasn't dropped any fluid. It'll be a bit slippery if he has. No, they get round okay. There's David Jenkins behind them, running a little bit wide. There's Stuart Oliver, started last on the grid. This is great stuff. Once again, here at Snetterton from the British Truck Racing Championship. Stephen Powell, just looking at that left rear tyre there. Has he got a tyre going down? After that contact with Tom O'Rourke. I wonder if he's got a slow puncture. Meanwhile, David Smith has got ahead of Neil Yates. This is for P7 further back. And there's our Division 2 leader, John Powell. The Greenhouse Group and Midland Caliper Centre DAF. And he's heading for 5 out of 5 in Division 2 this weekend. This will bolster his chances of beating Simon Cole in the points race. Stephen Powell under fire from Michael Oliver. Now, as they come through the bomb hole, look at his left rear. That tyre looks a bit suspect to me. I think he's got a slow puncture. That'll affect him later on as the race goes on, as the tyre deflates. Michael Oliver, this is where he passed Stephen Powell for the win in the first race. Yes, he's about to be taken by David Jenkins, who monsters up the inside. Michael just about gives him room there. So you like it when it's done to you, says David Jenkins. That's how Michael Oliver snatched the win in race 1 yesterday from Powell. Behind them is Stuart Oliver. Over the line they go. This is 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th together. Bowler's being reeled in by Ryan Smith. There's less than a second in it between those two. Less than half a second in it between the two of them now. In fact, these four are 8 seconds down on the lead battle. And has Ryan Smith already got through out of our view there? I think he may have done. They're side by side, in fact, as they come through Palmer. Ryan Smith just puts his foot down and drives straight past the MAN. He caught him coming out of the hairpin there, got alongside. And from 8th on the grid, Ryan Smith hits the front again. Well, we mentioned that yesterday Tom Harris won yet another Formula 1 stock car world title. I would like to see Tom Harris have a go at truck racing. I think he'd be well suited to it. Here comes David Jenkins. He charges up the inside at Hamilton, past Stephen Powell. And then here come the Olivers. Now, is that deflating tyre starting to affect Stephen Powell slightly? See it there as he goes round. It's affecting him more as he goes round right-handers when more load is placed on that left rear corner. There you can see, and that tyre eventually is going to start to come off the rim. You can see there the tyre is going soft. Michael Oliver is going to be next to attack the man from Kent in the number 3. And Stuart is farther behind him. Michael pulls alongside. Stephen Powell knows that the struggle is getting worse. Michael goes through. We don't know whether there's any other damage from that collision with Tom O'Rourke earlier on, of course. I know they have double wheels on the rear axles, these trucks. It's going to affect his handling. Now here comes Stuart Oliver. I can do this too, says Stuart Oliver. Excuse me. That's both Olivers that have got past Stephen Powell in the same fashion on the same corner this weekend. Stephen goes down to 6th. Ryan Smith now in the lead, pulling away from John Bowler. Now, if John Bowler can hang on for 2nd place, that will be his best result of the season. The best he's had this year are 2/3 at Thruxton. Meantime, this man, John Powell, is heading for a clean sweep in Division 2. Here comes Ryan Smith. Less than 2 minutes to go now. And Ryan Smith, the Tom Harris of truck racing. Maybe a swap deal. Put Ryan Smith in a brisker F1 and Tom Harris in a race truck. That's something I'll work on for next season, I think. Here he comes up towards Williams corner. Into the Bentley straights. Now wait to see if we get the checkered flag this time, whether we get one more lap out of this. Now John Bowler's nearly 10 seconds ahead of David Jenkins, who's now up to 3rd ahead of the Olivers. Stephen Powell down to 6th. John Powell, well, he's 14 seconds clear of Simon Cole. John Powell, with the demise of Paul Rivette, has dominated Division 2 this weekend. Up towards the bomb hole, Ryan Smith. Through towards Murray's corner. 30 seconds on the clock, so I think we'll get one more lap out of this. Here's Archie Handy, the young gun. Still learning his craft in his first season of truck racing. In the ex-Paul McComiskey Volvo. Here's John Powell continuing to dominate Division 2. His title bid is very much alive. On his final lap now, Ryan Smith into the hairpin. Incredible colour scheme, isn't it? Red, blue, dayglow, yellow, white, black. Bit of everything in there. The man from Mansfield in Nottinghamshire, sponsored by Northside Truck and Van, run by Worldwide Truck Racing. The team worked until 4 AM to replace the engine after his blow-up yesterday. And it's turned out beautifully for them, only spoiled by that track limits penalty in race 4. John Bowler going well on for his best result of the season in 2nd place. Through towards Oggies and then up to Williams for the last time. Easing it home now. It's Michael Oliver, the number 12, and I think he's had a moment somewhere. He seems to have dropped back. But we'll pick up on that in a moment, because our race winner, well, he's going to be race winner for the 2nd time this weekend. Started off in frustration with that engine failure on the first lap of race 1 yesterday. Missed the 2nd race while they were replacing the engine. He won race 3. Took the flag first in race 4, but was penalised down to 3rd. But he's going to make amends here and keep himself well and truly on course for a 9th consecutive British Truck Racing Championship title. Here he comes out of the final corner onto the centre straight for the last time. A 2nd win of the weekend for Flying Ryan Smith. Takes the flag. John Bowler gets his best result of the season in 2nd, 3.5 seconds back. And it should be David Jenkins to complete the podium, but a relatively quiet weekend for David. He takes the 3rd place. Over the line in 4th comes Stuart Oliver. So yes, Michael, I think, had a spin on the final lap there. And who's going to be 4th? Looks like it is going to be Stephen Powell in his slightly damaged number 3. Michael Oliver fighting back up the outside, but Stephen Powell holds on to P5. David Smith and Neil Yates will be next home, and in fact Neil Yates getting ahead of David Smith on the last lap there for 7th. And through for 9th is going to be John Powell. And what a weekend it's going to be for the number 6, the Greenhouse Group DAF LF. He had 3 wins and 2 seconds at Thruxton, but this weekend it's going to be 5 out of 5. A perfect score in Division 2 for John Powell at Snetterton. Way ahead of his opposition in this last race. Racing for Simon Cole and Archie Handy. Here comes Simon Cole in the pink and white Iveco. He looks a bit slow around this final lap as well, but he will come home for 2nd. The air horns are sounding. You can tell it's the last race of the weekend. Across the line comes Simon Cole, nearly 30 seconds down on John Powell. And the final finisher will be Archie Handy. Here he comes. The air horns sound as he comes home. The crowd applauds him. They love this young gun in his pink Volvo, one of the older trucks out there. And he does a little Kurt Goranson-style power slide for them as well. He will go far in the world of truck racing, Archie Handy, with flamboyance like that. Listen to the air horns. At least Ryan Smith isn't playing Baby Shark on his this time. But he takes the win, 3.5 seconds ahead of John Bowler. David Jenkins rounds out his weekend with the podium ahead of Stuart Oliver from the back of the grid. Stephen Powell, despite that punctured tyre, takes 5th ahead of Michael Oliver after a late moment on the last lap. Neil Yates and David Smith complete the top 8. John Powell completes a clean sweep of wins in Division 2 ahead of Simon Cole and Archie Handy. And Tom O'Rourke, unfortunately, was a retirement. Let's head down to Pointy in Parc Ferme.
That's right, good evening world, how the devil are we? What a phenomenal race for Ryan Smith as he completes his weekend, and what a testing weekend it's been. As he dismounts, we've got 2 other very excited drivers to speak to. But Ryan, what a race. My goodness me, well done, sir.
The brakes are on fire.
I was going to say, we see a lot of steam at the back.
I ran out of water with about 4 laps to go.
But
yeah.
3 great finishes, not the Sunday you were expecting when you went to bed last night.
Just my brakes are on fire. I just don't want them to light up.
Oh, I see. John, back off, just in case.
Yeah, they're on fire. The front as well.
They're actually rather warm.
For about... Arnie! 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 The brakes are on fire!
The brakes are a bit
The brakes
warm.
are on fire!
Cool. It's cool. Look, Arnie knows, mate. He's chilling. Don't panic, Mr. Mannering. There's not even. There's no flames. It's okay. Dave, well done, sir.
So can I just get something clear though?
No, God,
In
no.
a good way. In a good way. I've seen a few comments online, and I don't want to come across derogatory to Steve or anybody, or even anybody that's giving track limits out.
Okay.
We're passionate about winning, how we work,
yeah.
and we want to put a show on. That's all it is. We mean no malice by it, and we don't want to offend anybody at home. So if it's offended anybody at home what I said, then I apologise sincerely.
There you go. From the horse's mouth. Onto the race.
John Bowler drove really well.
I'll get to you in a minute, Dave. All right, promise.
John Bowler drove fantastic, you know.
Yeah. Where is he? Come over here, John.
I'll tell you what, you drove well, you know.
Let's get you around here. That's a good angle. John, gather round the 3. We'll do like a. I'm not going to what to call anything, but yeah. So you're impressed with him. Are you impressed with anything?
Yeah, I'm happy, look.
No,
we've had a fairly rubbish day, haven't we? And John just ran from the front, brilliant job. Ryan did what Ryan did, and I got stuck in the battle in the middle and made it through, so very pleased.
The trophy's all round for you guys. John, yeah, fantastic. So people over the commentary that do get things wrong quite often saying that the second place is the best trophy you've had all year.
Well, it's better than third, so...
I mean, circuit commentary, obviously. Dave Goddard very rarely gets things wrong, to be fair to him. So you're happy with that?
Yeah, dead happy with that, over the moon. So
yeah, and you'll be coming... Well, I mean, not to skip ahead from the celebrations now, but we all go into Le Mans?
Yeah, definitely.
France?
100%, yeah.
Well, there's a championship to fight for.
I'll tell you what, it's getting tight with you guys at the front now, isn't it? My goodness me. So we're all shipping out, meeting at Dover, and we'll be there in a week and a half or so.
Brilliant.
Yeah, can't wait.
Congratulations.
So is it going to be frogs' legs or snails? Which one for you?
Bit of both, I think.
Bit of both?
Yeah, bit of both.
Bit of both?
Just frogs' legs.
Just for, okay, see? Decisive action there from Dave Jenkins as we're ramping up for Le Mans. But as it goes down here in the Parc Fermé of Snetterton, that is, of course, all the truck racing action we've got time for. Fantastic weekend for John Powell, wherever he's gone. 5 of 5 races. He's going to be thrilled to get yet another trophy. But I think everybody over here is very happy with the results. Let's make some noise, you lot, come on. There we go. So, it's goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from him. See you in Le Mans, maybe. I don't know how it's going to work, but yeah. Watch the skies.